We'll be back from the break, and you're still watching the Policon. Here we discuss politics and economics, and of course, quite a different atmosphere here. This time round, we decided to do an outdoor kind of a feel, and I will tell you, these are conversations where the young people will be very excited to have still. And of course, I'm still with Honorable Bernard Odoi, who is a Member of Parliament for the Youth Eastern Region. And of course, if you're to look at, for example, Uganda's tourism, you can't go short of mentioning the eastern part of Uganda. And I think this is where, and sport, exactly. In fact, sports, when you look at all the gold medals, especially around athletics, and even in the football perspective, you'll still see the kind of talent from the East. Yes. So it is one that you would definitely say, if we are to look at the young people who can add a lot of impact, I'm not throwing any shade to any other region, but you'll definitely never go short of mentioning the eastern part of this country. And like they normally say, from the Bible perspective, the wise men come from the east. Honorable, now as we continue with our discussion, you get to realize that the young people have got barriers. There are certain barriers, or one would definitely say the challenges they face, they encounter. They may be due to the home background, the others due to things that are unbearable as you grow up, the kind of experience you have to go through sometimes. Not everyone gets a smooth run through in life. And especially when it comes to the young people, you are still trying to figure out your life, you're still trying different things in life, you're exploring, but of course you have to create a future for yourself. When you look at some of the barriers, these actually include lack of quality education. Now, the biggest threat is unemployment, and this is where most of the young people actually end up fearing getting into this maturity stage, because they know you have to get employed, or you need to have a job or a business for yourself. How are the legislators, or how is the legislative arm trying to at least cover up these barriers and at least create a more promising kind of atmosphere for the young people?
Well, that's so pertinent. The issue of education is key in a way that mainstream education and also skilling.
Yes.
The fact on table is that for almost all the years, this country has been focusing on the white-collar interest.
Very true.
Very little emphasis on technical jobs.
And starting up.
We grew up in an environment where if you go to a technical college, then you're regarded a failure. Everyone would wonder.
Yes.
So I mean, he's not in secondary. I think he failed his exam.
This one didn't make it to the university?
Yes. They consider a failure. But if you go across just Kenya here, the economy is ahead of us, not because of the white-collar jobs, but because of the skills.
Actually, their tech startups have actually contributed greatly last year.
Yeah, sure. So the focus now for us is to focus on skills. We are not bent on only the white-collar jobs. I went to law school with hundreds of other people. But you, after law school, then what happened? But you find a guy who stopped in senior 2, senior 3, maybe they even dropped out. He's a mechanic. They are fixing your car, they are fixing my car, they have become experts. Now, to solve the issue of unemployment, the focus cannot go beyond starting with overhauling the education system. We are happy that the Minister of Education came up with a new curriculum. But we also know as a fact that most of the teachers have actually not embraced. They have not been trained in the new curriculum. But now, government should be very deliberate that technical schools, skilling centers should be within a radius of accessibility to our people. I want us to address this looking at the immediate facts available. Just last month, PLE result was released. Tens of thousands of our brothers, sisters and sons actually failed.
Due to the way the system grades.
Now, we don't have any policy in this country that addresses that. If you pass, you either join mainstream secondary or technical school. We don't have any policy that addresses the plight of the Ugandan who forms the other category.
The ungraded. Yes, the ones that
like
are ungraded.
For example, if you get 36,
you've failed. You're ungraded.
failed.
Yes.
Secondary is not going to absorb you. Technical school is not going to absorb you.
Yes.
The question is, we should have conversation as policy makers. We need to expedite. I want to be at the forefront of this. But the same trait has been actually witnessed. Tens of thousands of the candidates failed with 99999, meaning they cannot continue
to to upgrade.
They can't go to college.
Neither can they go to a technical institute.
Yes. And they can't continue with secondary education. The big question is, if we are saying we are all citizens of this country,
yes,
because of so many different reasons, some people are not gifted academically, but we've seen talents.
Yes.
We have sports talents across this country of people. Let me give you an example of Mayweather in the US.
Yes.
He cannot write beyond his name, but is richer than anyone in this country through sports.
Yes.
The focus should now be, as policymakers, we should cook something that addresses everyone.
Obviously.
Those who excel academically
should be given what they want.
Yes.
Okay.
Those who, because of so many other reasons,
cannot,
design,
are
not able to pass and fall under this category of failures, government should have a deliberate plan
for them. Okay.
For them, because you can't tell them to repeat.
Very true.
I can give you an example in Pader district.
Okay.
There is a school where everyone failed.
That is UCE, PLE.
PLE.
Okay.
Everyone failed. Now, as a country, are we saying these should not be Ugandans? Are we saying we should leave their face?
These are completely failures.
No. Are we saying when the voting time comes, you are not going to look for them?
You will, surely.
So as youth representatives, we are saying it is within our mandate to ensure, regardless of the tribe, the color, the region, the academic prowess, God has given us this country as ours.
Yes.
The resources must be shared equitably and equally. On the same vein, the issue of employment, we are aware of exploitation, both within here. We don't have the minimum cap for wage. You wake up, you go for a job. If the man is paying you 70,000 per month, it is upon you. No one is bothered. We've seen how thousands, hundreds of thousands of our citizens leave this country to go to UAE for greener jobs. But we are aware of the exploitation. Why can't we even train them from here? Why can't we give them hope here? Can we bring in the issue of performing arts?
Okay.
Can we address the issue of talent and accept the fact that God has different callings for us? And identify, for those who are talented in music, let's give them facility.
Yes.
Those who are talented in running, like in my region, the Cheptegeis,
yes,
more are still there.
Yes.
Why don't we unearth these guys, give them space, support them, and they can win medals? They market this country
very
at
well.
No pay.
Yes.
Recall there was a time when this country paid over $3 million to promote this country, to sell this country.
Okay.
But you have the Cheptegeis and others,
yes,
the Kuros of then, they go win at world stage.
And you don't want to put money in
yes. They bring in here foreign money, and even tourists come to this country.
Because they want to know, them. Yes, very true.
Speak about tourism. Eastern Uganda, right from Jinja, there's immense potential of tourism.
Yes.
So many of our youth would be involved in this. But are they skilled? No. Have you given them space? No. Have you trained them? No. You've only left this for the big guys who have been around, guys who have access to the big money. What are we doing for our youth? We are saying development of a country starts with the youth. You ignore them, I think it becomes a time bomb.
Okay.
So we need to wake up and support our demographic. These are the citizens of our country. We can't talk of entering the money economy when the bulk of the population is not part of the conversation.
Okay. And now, how besides the issue of dealing with this now, how are we going to deal with the the level of unemployment. I think before, when we were in the break, we had you did mention of something to do with the labor externalization.
Yes.
This has actually become the new order in town. It is obviously something that every other month, even when you go to the airport today, you won't be surprised. Yes, you won't be surprised to find a group of young men and women going abroad to at least seek for greener pastures. Where's the challenge? Why is it that despite the fact that we talk highly about our education system, a graduate who has actually got the best of points, also yearning to tap into those particular jobs that are in the Middle East, are we trying to create room for, I would not want to say that these people moving out is the worst decision to take, because we've seen others who are actually making some good money out of there. Sure. But then the other cases that we hear of are not that positive. So what kind of atmosphere are we creating in the near future? Is it now so fine for us to always push the young people to move out of the country, or we should seek for at least a better alternative here in the country?
I think that can be addressed in two folds.
Okay.
Personally, I don't fault movement for greener pasture as a bad deal.
Yes.
The issue is, do we prepare them
enough to be in that space?
Do we actually monitor them
while they're out of the country?
If Odoy lives here for Saudi Arabia,
yes,
we know their contract. We know the contractor the other side that we can follow up.
Okay.
Do we have a check and balance that a team leadership of this country or our embassies in these foreign missions actually have capacity? Do they have that capacity? The answer is no. I'm privileged to have traveled to UAE, and we visited the embassy.
Yes.
And we found the staff there was actually, they were less. Now, you can't solve a situation where you have over 200,000 citizens, but the staff within that country in the embassy, who are supposed to be the middle men to solve this, are just like 10. You can't expect one person to serve like 10,000 people.
Okay.
We are lying to ourselves. The question is, government should be deliberate. We as policymakers must tighten the nut on our foreign missions to ensure that there's accountability for every citizen who leaves this country to the other country. That there is a file that will confirm that this person who left here is actually working in plot number this in a company called this.
Yes.
And when they have issue, they can also report. Not this thing where you wake up one day,
look for an
buzzing, someone have removed the internal organs.
Yes.
I think we are destroying our citizens.
Yes.
So the focus should be let's train. Even those who go for the domestic work.
Okay.
Can we train them and have them go as professionals, not as mere maids? Can we be accountable? Let's not only be hoodwinked on the big sums of money
that they are going to earn per month.
That they are going to return.
Okay.
Some of them return to this country after many years of hard labor.
And go back to zero, apparently.
Go back to zero. The life is already deteriorated because the standard of living the other side
is quite different from
pathetic.
Yes.
They have not even saved sufficient money, and you find they cannot live for even few years. They die. We should give our people hope. I'm also happy to report that while we were in Dubai in one of the oversight roles, we actually came across and confirmed that there is a Ugandan who is the chief financial officer of their telecom company.
Wow.
Earning in excess of 100 million. Now that is a professional. There are several Ugandans who are professionals in the UAE and other countries.
Yes.
The question is, can we help solve this? Can we attach value to the lives of our citizens? That we as a country, we are accountable.
Yes.
That any life lost, we must cry together. We must mourn together. We need bilateral agreements that before a Ugandan lives here for another country, there exists bilateral agreement between the two countries that allows movement of labor. Can we have the interpretation of these contracts to our people interpreted, because when they go to the like UAE, it's written in Arabic.
Yes.
95% of our people can't even read Arabic.
Okay.
To make matters worse, some go without even basic education. So later on, how do you expect them to understand Arabic?
Oh, okay.
So can we have a deliberate team put in place to actually have this interpreted for our people, and insurance, such that if there's something that happens to the life of a Ugandan, insurance then takes center stage.
Honorable, let me also bring this up. Do you think we have put in place a better environment? Have we created an environment that will enable the young people? For example, look and see Kenya's perspective is that the tech startups or business startups are actually now growing, and most of the Kenyans do not desire working in offices. They have an alternative now, starting up their own, and it will definitely become a talk in town. But besides that, which kind of environment or what kind of atmosphere do you think we should create for the young people, especially the young innovators, the unemployed, but they have desire to start up something, but they're only limited due to factors that may be short-term and long-term. But what kind of atmosphere should we create, and how will that be possible?
Allow me to register that as a country, the political environment, we are almost the finest in the Great Lakes region. Politically, we are very stable. You're free to do what you can. But we are struggling on the angle of economics, which is a great deal, which is the engine
of this political, if we want to lift the political sphere.
If you deny someone their economic right, you are actually disabling their political
and social.
Now, as a country, look at even the basics of things. An investor comes here with little money, sometimes almost free loan from their country, and they are given all the waivers. You go to Namamve, there are several there. You go where
a 10-year tax holiday and all that.
They don't pay taxes for maybe up to 10 years. Whatever they bring in, they don't pay anything.
And in that 10 years, he can actually choose to leave the country afterwards.
Now, these are the very investors who will exploit you and me, pay you very little money, yet they don't pay taxes. Yet the land is free.
So they are taking the money back.
To live in 10 years. We are saying, economically, we've not presented the best
for the young people.
And we are saying we need space. We need access to factors of production, including land. The backbone of this country is agriculture.
Very true.
The young people who have the energy to engage in agriculture are not seeing the meaningful agriculture economically making sense. What incentives are we putting in place to drive this energy that a young person does not need to go and spend 10 hours working in a factory for 150,000? That the hope of survival in this country is almost not there. Then this young person wants to run and die in the UAE. We are saying, all these guys who are innovative, let's give them space. What if we create sufficient funds? What if we create a youth-friendly bank? Where a youth, you only need a team to assess. If they are into movie production or welding or any project, you only assess them and then give them money. If you can't trust them in the money, train them on money matters. Empower them. They are your citizens. They are the engines of this country. Give them tax holidays. We've seen all over. If you move in this Kampala, every young man who opens shop 30 days ago, the tax guys are there. Right from KCCA to URA to NSS.
And they also have rent areas to deal with.
Why don't you remove these things and give these guys liberty? I can give you an example. There was an incentive for the post-COVID. The money that was put in Uganda Development Bank in excess of billions of money, maybe over 300 billions. Tell me any youth who succeeded from that. No one.
No one, indeed.
It all went to these big guys. Because the requirements are stringent. Because the young people don't even have this information. You have UDB only in Kampala. How do you expect the youth in Kaberamaido, in Katakwi, in Mulanda, in Mbarara, in Kasese to access this? You have a good plan, but you are not stretching it to the reach of this person, we are saying this should stop, so that economically we empower our people in a very meaningful and accommodative way as citizens of this country. Then we will be proud of this country.
Now let's also talk about the issue to do with the kind of loan access of loans. You've got to realize, you've mentioned the Uganda Development Bank and how the young people, it's actually, they didn't actually benefit from this.
It's located in Kampala.
Now,
don't know where it is.
Now, when you look at this issue to do with also the access of loans, even with commercial loans,
yes.
From commercial banks rather, you realize the young people, the banking atmosphere or the banking space, the financial institutions are not favoring the youth at all.
Right.
You look at the kind of requirements needed.
Yes.
We all understand the young people, a young person will not be having any kind of collateral to give away unless a national ID or an asset in a phone or something. This is a person who is actually renting somewhere, trying to at least earn off the little pay he gets from the salary and all this. How then are we going to have conversations that are more deliberate in supporting youth initiatives, especially from the banking sector?
The banking sector, we're now, the conversation that we now have is, if I may pick it from the youth fund that was initially there.
Yes.
I must register that I benefited from that.
Okay.
But that was because I had a business of garbage collection.
Okay.
That had reached certain level.
All right.
And it was through sheer sacrifice
that it
of
did.
like 6 years.
Okay.
And you've access to bank itself. A youth living somewhere downtown,
yes,
hustling, they don't have even that time to come and run to the bank and put in their money. Remember, every month, most banks, all banks have these deductions.
Yes.
Monthly maintenance fee. If you recall the days of when we had Airtel, and I'm told they were charging service fee, which was 18,000 per month.
Yes.
Now, you don't expect a youth who's striving to make it out of scratch to have this money cut. Then the other fear is that when a youth has opened even a business account, that is where URA will come.
Yes.
Maybe a friend has donated to them this money, maybe a family
to start up a
business.
Yes.
And they are saying it is safer for me to keep this money in the bank.
Yes.
Because now it is interlinked. The URA will come and say, source of this money, this is the tax.
True.
Why not have a way that we support our people?
Okay.
That the commercial banks are empowered with government money, so that even the accessibility, people should be easy to get this money through their phones. If I've used my national ID to register my phone, why do I need to move 10 kilometers from my village to the district headquarters where the bank exists,
okay,
to apply for a loan? If we are talking about using ICT, we know the cost of our internet in this country. It's very expensive. Where you would expect a young person to sit wherever they are and sell their products online, the cost of internet itself is going to blow them off. Then you come to Facebook, a medium that we would trade in freely and easily.
Yes.
I want to actually beg that our good president should waive that. Facebook should be back,
okay,
so that our people can freely trade. So access to ICT is key in mending the gap.
All right.
But also we've seen it has come to the floor of parliament several times, where so many of Ugandans fail to even get their national ID printed on time. Now, this is a strict requirement.
Okay.
If you're using this to prove citizenship, and the same system is making it very hard for one to process a national ID.
Yes.
Later on, if you misplace or it is damaged or it is lost, again it is another hurdle. We have issues where people applied for national ID in 2015
Yeah.
It is now 2023.
I'm one of those, by the way.
Now, look at that. So if a government
So the NIN is available, but the national ID is nowhere to be seen.
How do you even prove your citizenship now?
Very true. It's a very huge...
Before a project comes, how are you going to benefit? That's the gap we need to bridge.
Okay.
As a country.
All right. And for the viewers out there, we are still coming back for our last and final discussion rotating around how the legislative arm has been able to at least create or give room to the young people to at least help them engage in social and economic development programs within the country. You're watching the Policon. Here we discuss politics and economics, and this is Smart 24. Stick around. I'll be right back.